Hey, everybody, grab your goat. Don a flower wreath, perhaps, because it is time for the Witches Movie Coven. Yes, witches talking about witches on Beltane. What? And what film would we see on May Day? Beltane, Westpurget, Biscuit, Musket. The Wicker Man, of course. The one with my boyfriend, Nicolas Cage. Sorry, Jason.
I thought this didn't exist. Oh,
But it doesn't exist. It exists, and we watched it, and we all watched it. Hi, everybody out there. Get in that chat room. Talk to us. I am Patti Negri. I am one of your hosts. You might know me. And I've been jumping over bonfires all day, from the Witching Hour, my regular podcast, from Ghost Adventures, from bathroom walls across America. But let me pass this on to my beautiful co-host. Let's start out with I think that is Jason Mankey behind those dark glasses.
I don't know if I'm actually here tonight. I'm low profile. I'm Jason Mankey, Llewellyn author. This is my latest book, High Priest, which just comes out officially next week. Yeah, I'm celebrating Beltane with my coven. Very excited to be here. I'm embarrassed for what we're talking about. I'm not embarrassed to be with you all.
Thank you very much. Richard-Lael.
I am Richard-Lael. Richard-Lael is one name, not two. If I were just Richard, I would be a. That is right. I am known as the Gentleman Psychic. I'm a psychic and a medium. I used to be a psychic and a small, but I gained some weight. And unlike other psychics and mediums who are all doom and gloom or love and light, I'm a happy medium. With that, I am known from Ghost Adventures or University Magicus, or here in New Orleans, where I give seances in my elaborate parlors. You also may see me here or there in podcast, or see my art on your walls. Who knows? I'm a little bit of everywhere. I'm really easy to find.
Oh, thank you very much. And speaking of beautiful Courtney.
That's me. I'm Courtney Buckley, ghost bait on Scared and Alone. Very happy to be celebrating Beltane with my beautiful coven. And I would also like to give a shout out to a member of our coven who is not going to be in the chat with us here tonight, Taya McKenzie, who is a diehard for us. She took the brave and awesome step to get spayed today, and she's very excited about it. We're so excited for her. No babies. We love that. And congratulations, and we miss her, and we love her.
Thank you very much. Now, you notice our beautiful Heather Green is not here, but one of our regular special guests, Tabitha Meadows, is. Take it away, Tabitha.
Hi, I am Tabitha Meadows, medium and psychic, and I am super happy to be back on this halfway to Halloween, my most favorite holiday. Thank you very much for having me again.
Thank you for being here. All right, Wicker Man, 2006 film, all about today or tomorrow, or leading up till today and tomorrow. Hopefully you did all watch it. Just in case somebody didn't watch it, Richard-Lael, do you happen to have an unbiased synopsis of this seasonal film?
And how? So here's the plot line. Nicolas Cage was bet that he could not act his way out of a paper bag. And he says, "Are you kidding me? I can act my way out of a wicker basket." And then he lost the bet.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Oh, boy.
So here's the plot line. Basically, if anyone had read Shirley Jackson and The Lottery, it's like that, excepting for the fact it's worse. But there are bees, which are great. I like bees. Bees are great. In this story, Nicolas Cage plays a witch finder, accidentally, because he's a cop who looks for witches. And cops are so popular these days. Anyway, he finds that there's this girl who he has dropped her toy out of the car, and then he retrieves it, and then there is some sort of big truck that comes along, and there's an accident, but the body doesn't exist. And then he gets a letter, and it's from his ex who had a child, and the child is his, but he doesn't find that out till later. And he meets this pilot he bribes the pilot to go to this little town, and the pilot says what all pilots do when they watch this movie: Mayday, Mayday, Mayday. And he lands on this Isle of Lesbos. They
Bravo,
are
sir.
the She-Man man haters. And it's run by the lunchiest of lunch ladies. And sister lunch lady is trying to stop Nicolas Cage from finding out if this child exists. And then lo and behold, the child does exist. And then it's his child. And then, of course, he tries to save said child. And then there's murder. And then there is mayhem. And then, of course, they end up by stinging him with bees. He almost dies. He gets locked into a wicker cage of a man. And then, of course, they burn him down because that is the way that it's supposed to be. And, of course, they live happily ever after, and we don't even find out if their crops are good and they have good yield from their bees. But they get rid of the drones, the male drones. The males are only for reproduction, which is not my favorite thing. No more babies. No more babies. With that, I like to quote a little bit of Oscar Wilde, considering the other side. The only purpose of a woman is to make love to her, if she's pretty, and to someone else if she is plain. And I am all for that. And that is the end of the movie.
Yikes.
Thank you. Thank you. Now we are clear, and maybe that's as clear as we're going to get, because our beautiful Heather is not here to give us 5 things that we really do need to know. But Jason, I see a hand. Can you fill us in with some more facts?
I have written 3 of them. I did not get to 5. I was hoping that Richard-Lael's unbiased movie synopsis was a little longer because I got inspired. But I did some digging on the film, and I have 3 things to share with you. So if you were watching the movie, there's a character named Sister Honey. The actress that played Sister Honey, her name is Leslie Sobieski. She retired from acting shortly after this film. And I think it's related to being in this film that caused her to retire from acting. And I think that other people probably should have followed in her footsteps after this film. Second thing that you need to know, this movie came out in 2006, which was one of the worst years for movies in the history of cinema. This is a scientific fact, because not only was this movie released in 2006, but also X-Men: The Last Stand, which almost killed the franchise, and Superman Returns, which was the one-off of Brandon Routh as Superman. So yes, scientific fact, worst year for movies ever, and that this movie was released also in 2006. Also, here's my final fact. This is not a real film. Like an alleged movie with Sinbad as a genie, this is an urban myth. It's something that people have talked about enough that it somehow has a Wikipedia entry, and we have fever dreams where we think that we watched this movie and that Nicolas Cage starred in it. It just never happened. In fact, I think that tonight's show might also be a dream. See, that's just CGI. That's fake. It's photoshopped. It's not real. Just like tonight's show is not real.
Thank you for that.
That's
Maybe
the 3 things you need to know about this movie.
that is beautiful. Maybe it's like the Mandela effect. Isn't that what we think is one way, but it isn't that way at all? Perhaps.
Yes.
No, I watched this movie. I'm pretty certain I watched it.
I'm pretty certain I watched the Sinbad movie. That's why the glasses are on. So
All righty. Well, who wants to jump in with both feet into this river? Courtney?
that's me. Okay. Some curious things happened. As we all know, I am the resident movie hater, right? because I simply just cannot find things to like about most of these movies. And that was my goal tonight, because I remember last year when we did the original Wicker Man, and Jason very loudly proclaimed that this particular Wicker Man did not exist and we weren't allowed to talk about it. So knowing after the last few weeks that we've had, Jason and I, knowing that this was rated so high on his list of movies, I was determined to go into this movie and find reasons to like it so that I could be controversial and argue with Jason, because that was my goal. And that's the kind of mood I woke up in today. Now, I had to pay $4 and rent it on Amazon Prime, which was not my favorite thing in the world to do. But something very peculiar happened when I hit the rent button. It then popped up and said I had 4 minutes left, as if I had already watched it. And I know I've seen it, but I don't remember ever paying to watch it before. Like so the whole time I was struggling to try to figure out like if any of it, if I recollected any of it, and I didn't, but I know I've watched it. So anyway, I have some notes. One thing I screamed out loud. Well, no, let me start at the beginning. Oh yeah, I screamed out loud because as interesting and captivating as this movie was to watch, I was suffering and surviving through it until they got to the point where she's giving the backstory. The Grand Lunch Lady is giving the backstory of how they got there. And she says they settled near Salem. And I don't know.
Yes. Let your anger flow.
I wrote, they settled near Salem. Absolutely not. So I lost my mind and I started yelling at the screen. I also, to surmise my experience, what I determined from this movie was that Nicolas Cage's The Wicker Man didn't walk, but crawled out of a week-old dumpster so that the movie Midsommar could soar. Like there was a bear. No, there was a bear suit. There was lighting people on fire. I made my friend Megan watch it with me so that I could be held accountable and keep my eyes on the screen the whole time and actually do my job here, which was take notes and write quotes. And I literally was like, it was just all I could do to not apologize, or maybe I should have apologized to her for forcing her to watch that. And I kept saying, I'm pretty sure they light him on fire at the end. So there will be a payoff because I'm pretty sure they light him on fire. Let's go back. Actually, I just remembered this and I didn't even write it down because I was so horrified. Just like why they have to spoon feed things to us in a movie that was very simple to understand. There was not a lot of, it was very predictable. But when he's unpacking his belongings and he opens up his EpiPens, which, correct me if I'm wrong, most people know what EpiPens look like. So we didn't have to write Epi B or B Epi on it. Sure that it was known that it was for a bee allergy. Like we could have found a different way around that. And then during the time when he wandered into the beehives, like that could have been avoided. We didn't have to like go directly into the beehive and then stumble and roll our way down the hill directly into the bees. Like, I don't know. It was just, I tried really hard because I wanted to fight with Jason. And I couldn't find anything. So this movie was a dumpster fire, and it both pleases and pains me to say that. So that's where I'm at.
Thank you. Now, did you say Nicolas Cage wrote like B EpiPen on it? He didn't do it. He was just. No.
I'm talking about the creators of the film, the prop people. I'm not blaming him. I'm talking about the royal they, like the general they, whoever was responsible for making the decision of instead of just putting an EpiPen when we all are smart enough to know what that means. It said B Epi, BEE Epi on it. Like I didn't need that spoon fed to me. I really didn't. I got it.
But I agree. I just didn't want it about Nicolas Cage. You guys are going to be so mean to him. All right.
Yeah, I'll jump in. So here's the deal. These women decided to put up a straw man fallacy and then burn it down. And I wanted to say that, but it was true. I don't know. I mean, visually, it was, I guess, pretty. It was, you know, I kind of like the idea that they got away from modern society. I mean, their private schooling is subpar, but that's okay. I get
But
that.
probably better than Oklahoma's, right?
Oklahoma is ranked 49th, I think, or 50th.
Yeah.
It's pretty low. So it must be, you know, did these witches settle outside of Salem? Like you said, no, of course not. Did I believe it? I wanted to. I also didn't want to watch it. I mean, I did watch it. And then I also scrolled on Facebook and I did my dishes and so I kind of watched it. I had seen it before. I think I actually watched it last year because originally when we said Wicker Man, that was the one that had come up. And I think I watched that one before I watched the other one. Would I enjoy watching it again? No, maybe not. I didn't. I mean, I've seen worse films. I mean, it's no Killing Tree or anything.
How dare you even put them in the same category?
That's what I'm saying. It's not a Killing Tree.
The Killing Tree is so much better.
I would rather watch a Killing Tree. This is not.
I would just like a clip of with no context whatsoever of Jason saying the Killing Tree was so much better, and that's it. Nothing else around it, just that one sentence, and I will put that in our group chat in response to everything.
Some things are just objectively true, and in this instance, it is objectively true. The Killing Tree is a better film.
Ah, there it is again. I need a montage of this.
Courtney, that's your Beltane gift from me to you.
Oh, thank you, Jason.
Thank you. I couldn't get past what I mean, it was really hard because I was losing my attention. And then I'd wait, I missed a plot point. So what was the letter he got? Then I'd have to keep rewinding it. And I'm not good. I don't even know. I don't watch TV really, you guys. I don't know how to rewind. I don't know. I go back to the beginning. I go back. And I did the $4 Amazon too. And it's like, because I was scrolling, I was doing all sorts of things. But once I got into it, I do think it was pretty. I just could not get past the casting. How did they find so many little blonde children who all look exactly alike? How did they find so many young women who look exactly alike? I mean, I guess it is inbreeding and you find the right man to do it along the way. But I totally got obsessed in that. It's like picturing hair and makeup on the thing, how they got their braids all the same, how they got the thing. And in a weird way, how much it must have been fun because that was a big cast of like not background, but whatever people. And how fun it must have been for all those little girls to put little matching outfits on and look these plain little blonde faces. That's what I couldn't get past. So then I kept losing the plot line. But it's pretty in a forest and spooky pretty. And yeah.
Oh, I wasn't quite sure what I was watching either. When I saw Edward on the bicycle and he was going through the Washington State countryside, it kind of felt like I was watching Eat, Pray, Love. But instead of traveling,
does inspire prayer.
So he's traipsing along on his little bike, countryside. But instead of traveling the world, he's visiting movies like Pet Sematary at the very beginning when the big trucks keep zooming by and you're going, oh my gosh, this can't end well. And then sure enough, here comes a big truck. When he goes to get the doll, bam, right into the car. And he goes and tries to rescue at least the little girl that was in the car, and he couldn't do it. So thus begins the adventure of also the little girl reminded me of Damien in The Omen, because she's like, please don't do that again. But then the girl is just like, yeah, and yeets the doll back out. So he goes running into the middle of the road, and he very well could have gotten smashed by the truck, but I guess the trucker, instead of smashing into him, smashes into the car instead. But so other feels were Candyman with the bees, Midsummer with the man in a bear suit, The Shining with the creepy twins. Courtney's like, no, not the bee twins. I'm like, oh, the other twins that were like talking in unison or saying, rah, rah, rah. And maybe not a movie, but well, I think it was made into a movie. A little bit of Fantasy Island in there when he comes rolling up in the plane, and they're all out there to meet him, and they're like, but no, you can't come here. Instead of, being a love island, they're like, no, we don't want you because this is a private island and this is our island.
What?
Also, on the topic of missing persons, that's pretty near and dear to me, because besides doing mediumship and psychic work, I do help assist find missing persons. So it was very infuriating to me for him to be going around on the island trying to get information. And it was almost like, Pavlov's cat. It was like, this young girl, she's both alive and dead at the same time. And no one will give information. And everybody knows that to try to solve a case, even the most minute things can be really, really important. And it was just really weird because no one was coming up off of anything. So, yeah, I didn't mind this movie, but, at the same time, there was just a lot of frustrating things because I wasn't quite sure what I was watching at times. So.
But it was pretty. It was pretty. I just, maybe because I just like a few weeks ago got back from an island, Washington State, off the Puget Sound. I was just wandering around a weird island like that. So I was just so intrigued with the beauty. I just missed the plot. I mean, it was obvious what it was. Jason.
It was pretty.
It was pretty. Pretty counts.
I have a confession to make. So in 2011, we moved from Michigan to California, where I live now, and we call it the lost year in Ari and I's life because we were frustrated. We didn't have a lot of friends. It was a new place. Our lives had changed, and it just felt like that year wasn't what we were used to in our life, the lost year. We didn't have a coven of our own. It was before I knew even all of you. It was a very difficult time. And our holidays were not good. I think Ari worked Christmas Eve and forgot that she opened Christmas presents because she had worked all night until like 8 a.m. So it was very hard. It was really difficult. And we watched this movie that year, which is extremely fitting that in the lost year, I saw this movie. And it pains me not only because I had to watch the movie, but because I saw this before I saw the original, which meant that I did not watch the original for several more years. I remember telling Ari, hey, I've heard all about the Wicker Man my whole life. Let's watch the Wicker Man. And I chose the Nicolas Cage version streaming on Netflix. And it's to that point after 45 minutes where Ari's like, can we turn this off? And I didn't say yes. And I should have said yes, but I felt as a pagan, as a witch, I was obligated to watch the end of the film. That I was obligated to watch
you said as a what?
As a pagan and a witch. I felt obligated. And, it's not one of the biggest mistakes of my life, but I don't know, like everything that's good about the original is absent from this movie. I mean, the first movie didn't take itself too seriously, and there's that crazy, weird soundtrack that's involved in that movie. And this movie has none of that. It just has Nicolas Cage punching women, which is really uncomfortable At one point, he does like a super kick on one of them, and you're like, where did this come from? I mean, I know he's supposed to be a police officer, but wow, it was like watching WWE or something. It's just a movie that I don't think really works very well in any way. And yes, there are some pretty scenes in it, but also in 2006, there's a part of me that gets mad when I see pagans portrayed like this, because there's no reason for it. There's no need for it. People should know better by now. In 1970, that's something else, but in today's day and age, we should be able to do better.
Today's day and age was 20 years ago.
I know, you're killing me. You're killing me, Smalls.
So if that was 20 years ago, I mean, The Sandlot, that was like 25 years ago.
Oh my God. The hexes are about to fly, actually, because if you keep reminding me about how old I am, I'm not going to be able to control it.
Well, if you think about
You're the baby here.
if this was
I'm almost 40.
If this was 26, and the other
To
one
be
was
40.
73, 83, 93, so that one was almost 30 years old.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong, but even in 2006, I just kind of expect better. And why does Nicolas Cage seem to hate witches so much? There's a lot of movies that he does that are very negative towards witches. And he seems like such a cool guy, and Patti has a big crush on him, so I don't want to be too mean to him, but it feels like he's got a vendetta against us.
Well,
and I don't understand why.
Because he played, and I can never forgive him for playing in the Left Behind series. In that one, he's a pilot, but he's not exactly, he's not out to get witches. But aren't all evangelicals out to get witches? I mean,
yes. Especially the crazy people who would watch a Left Behind movie.
Right?
Right? Yeah.
I mean, I was so left behind, I had never seen one.
That's Kirk Cameron stuff right there. Kevin Sorbo, not Nicolas Cage, right? You expect better from Nick Cage. So much better.
Kirk Cameron and his bananas.
That's right.
I have some more things to say, but one thing specifically to what you just said, Jason, about the soundtrack. I would like to make a note, because this is the first thing I saw on the screen before the movie even started. It was still showing the production company logo, and I was like, I'm already over it, because I watch it with the subtitles on, and it was like ominous theme music playing, and every time the music started, it would say I have the word ominous or the word eerie or like what, and it's like you're giving yourselves a lot of credit here, so like that felt weird.
Is it the Wicker Man without corn rigs and barley rigs? I mean, that is iconic, weird stuff.
Right. Also, one of the things that I forgot to mention earlier is that when my friend Megan and I were watching it, one of the things that we did in order to keep our sanity but also lose it at the same time was we counted how many times we had to watch the girl get hit by the truck. Because it seemed like he had a flashback every 4 minutes about it. It was a total of 5 times, including the original one. So anything that he did, there was a flashback to that. Also, we talk about this a lot of times, where I think, okay, I've made it at least halfway through. Let me just check on the time real quick. And it's been like 6 minutes. Yeah, I almost cried. At 30 minutes in, I almost cried because I looked and I was like, what do you mean we're only a third of the way there? Like, this can't be right. Like, we have to almost be over. If I have to watch him in one more completely avoidable situation, I'm going to lose my mind.
Twilight Zone.
Yeah, I will say there was one part that I identified with very strongly. And it was during, I think it was a dream sequence that he was having after he got stung by the bees, or maybe while he was being stung by the bees, where he saw that his coworker, that woman cop, and a bee landed on her face and then she exploded into 1,000 bees. I too would have liked to be able to explode into 1,000 bees in order to escape watching the rest of this movie. So,
you know what I was hoping for in that scene?
Mm.
I was hoping for a Macaulay Culkin in My Girl. That was what I was hoping. I was hoping that Nicolas Cage would just drop dead already, and the film would be over.
I was waiting for it the whole time.
His
It was
glasses.
the only thing that kept me
He
going.
can't see without his
Oh my God,
glasses.
this is traumatizing.
He needs his glasses.
And that would have been something creative and different from the first movie, right? And also would have helped us as moviegoers quite a bit. It would
Yeah,
have been
kill
a
him off
gift.
faster. But then
Yes.
he wouldn't have been drop kicking women for no reason. So I don't know, because that was kind of that was giving like the Rock in the face energy, where the Rock was like bouncing off the face for no reason. It was giving that. So
Hello.
Color can.
so yeah, I don't know. I just I don't think it could have been worse. And it was not worse in a way that, oh, he's good. Nick Cage is calling Patti to be like, keep
Yeah, it was Nick and
Oh,
We're in
he
trouble.
hates you all.
We're getting hexed.
You're getting
I
hexed.
mean,
He hates
By
you
Nick
all.
Cage.
This film could have been worse. This
It
film
could have been worse. It could have been.
I
I feel
mean,
like there's-
think about this.
yeah.
When people do filming, they have hundreds of hours worth of video that they take oftentimes. This film, there could be outtakes.
Well, actually, hold on, because I made a very, very smart decision earlier. Because when I went to rent it, I looked and there was the regular one, and then there was the unedited version,
Ugh.
and they were the exact same amount of time. So I thought, but then I looked, and the unedited version only gave me an option to buy it, and I was like, if this lives on my watch list forever, I will actually end it. So I could not live like that, and it was also $10, and I knew I was not paying $10 for it. So, but I kind of almost wish that I had, because maybe something would have happened. I don't know. Maybe there would have been boobs or butts or something. I don't know.
There were no boobs and butts in this one, and there were absolutely boobs and butts in the first one. What happened?
Right.
What happened?
Yeah,
Worst
that could have made it better.
orgy ever, right?
right.
Worst orgy ever.
But there could have been. We could have missed it in the unedited version. And I don't know. I'm not going to try it. I saw someone else who hasn't watched it yet. Watch that one and let us know. Because I will not be spending any more money on this movie.
Oh,
Go ahead,
I'm sorry.
Richard-Lael.
No,
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 go
you.
ahead, sir. I was like combing YouTube for people to see if anybody liked this movie, or maybe that there was one of those, the Wicker Man 2006 explained, like maybe somebody was offering an explanation for it. And I found a quote from somebody, and they wrote, "I watched this movie on an airplane and people still walked out."
Ouch.
Which I was like,
Ouch.
not my joke, but that joke deserved to be
That
told on the
was
show.
good.
Mhm.
Yeah,
That was a good
that was
one.
a good one.
That is an airplane movie. That's like how I watch Bewitched and so many. You want to go to sleep. That's how you do it. That's a good airplane movie.
I did like, however, I have to admit this. In my practice, bees are important, and it's a massive symbol. And I get the whole fertility thing. I think, you can't see it, but I have bees up here somewhere in my artwork. But oftentimes what I will tell people, I get, when I'm doing readings, I get images, pictures, words, sounds, and bees oftentimes will come up. And they mean different things to different people, but they mean transformation. And then what I love is that all the bees that you see are female, and it talks about dealing with the hive. They are associated with witchcraft, and the queen will go out. She will mate with up to 20 male drones, and then they die. And then in the wintertime, they will ouster all of the male drones and be like, okay, go on, deal with it, deal with the winter. And so I love that it is the divine feminine. I love that they a little honey in the bath is great. Honey, it does not cause any infections. It doesn't cause yeast infections. It's antibacterial. It is it's nurturing. It's good on the skin. So yeah, no, I love that association. The scenery was beautiful. The butch lesbian lunch lady was beautiful. Yeah, so
Wait, whoa. Wait, go back to that picture. Why do we have Darth Maul in the corner there? Like I get the moon and the stars, but who is Darth Maul over there?
Because Jar Jar Binks wasn't available.
Well, he was in the Wicker Man. He was in the Wicker statue. I said what not the bees! Wait, Crescent Moon Soaps and Crystals says this movie caused an infection in both eyes.
Angie, that's my friend Angie. That's who I just spent the weekend with. Oh my God.
Oh God, Angie, that was great.
There was a lot of great women actresses in this movie too, though. Despite the storyline, like Frances Conroy. Every time I saw her, I heard some theme music from American Horror Story.
Yeah,
she's really great, and I'm gonna butcher her name, but Ellen Burstyn. Thank you. Yeah, she's a really great actress as well. It was cool to see her face pop up in the movie.
Can I also just note IF specialist saying Nick Cage yelling Rowan over and over for no discernible reason? Yes, because I said this while I was watching it. Why is he hears a child giggle? Rowan? Like there's like a stiff breeze. He's like, Rowan. Like, why are you crawling into a well? I realized that you found her sweater, but you hear a child giggling under the water somehow, and you're going to go in there like that. It was just... no discernible reason. Everything that happened, he's yelling Rowan. It's like he couldn't memorize all of his lines, so he just improvised that.
And every woman was a tree too. A tree named Willow. Yeah, that was kind of cool too.
Yeah, I like that.
Why is the daughter named Rowan? I would actually liked it if her name would have been Rowan Wilson. That would have been great. That would have actually improved the film.
Oh, that's good.
You're a cool guy. You really are. You're a cool guy.
All right. Well, have we talked this film out? We're earlier than often used, but have we talked it out? Are we ready to vote on this?
I have quotes.
What?
Yeah.
No, Jason, go ahead.
I will say, like, one of the things that we were spared, the end of the movie feels like it's being set up for a sequel. You know, when the girls go into the bar and they try to seduce, it's actually pretty famous actors. I mean, James Franco is problematic for sure. And then Jason Ritter's the other one who is in actually, I think right now he's on the new Matlock revival, which is great. Everyone should watch it because it's Kathy Bates. And Kathy Bates elevates everything she's in. But yeah, we got really spared. Like, it could have been much worse. We could have had the Wicker Man 2.
We could have had with those guys in it being the next page.
Yeah. The Sicker Man.
No. Do we have before we get to the Mankey movie moment, before we vote, do we have quotes, Miss Courtney?
Yes, I do. Now keep in mind they're not good quotes because I didn't have a lot to choose. But
it's just Nicolas Cage going not the bees and Rowan.
One, I had to write this down. It was at the very beginning of the movie, and I thought this feels like the tagline for my enjoyment level of the movie. It was after the car crash when the woman cop comes to the door and he opens the door and she goes, "So," and he goes, "That about sums it up." And I was like, right. He says to the pilot, "Ahoy there!" And the pilot looks at him like he's crazy, rightfully so, and says, "What's that?" And he goes, "I don't know what you're supposed to say." And the pilot goes, "Well, you could just stick to hello." And I was like, tell it like it is. Great. One of my actual favorites, because it just felt very me coded, is because I kind of do this at work. So it was a little funny when he was holding out the photo to see when he first got to the island. He's holding up the photo and he's like, "Have you seen this girl?" And every one of them is like, "Nope, I have never seen that person before in my life." And he said, just a tip there, it often helps to actually look at the picture or actually glance at the photo. And I thought that was hilarious because that's all of my kids at school. I say, "Oh, do your work?" And they're like, I'm like, "Right, it's over here if you wanted to look at it." When he walks into the classroom, speaking of school, and the teacher is saying, "Well, Well, will you tell me what man represents in his truest form? And all the children start chanting, phallic symbol, phallic symbol. Like, okay, great. They settled near Salem. Absolutely not. In addition to not the bees, there was the one point where he was screaming, "How to get burned? How to get burned? How to get burned? How to get burned?" about the doll that he was
Watch
freaking out
the
about.
film.
Then he's devolving into madness more so than usual, and he's screaming, "I'm looking for a missing girl. Take that mask off your kid." Then he's in the, I think it was when he was in the wicker statue, and he's screaming, oh no, they were beating him up to put him in the wicker statue, and he's screaming, "This is murder, and you're doing it for nothing. Killing me won't bring back your goddamn honey." Like, is this what we're watching? So, oh yeah, and then the drone must die, the drone must die, the drone must die, and I wrote, along with my will to live after watching this. So
Thank you, Miss Courtney. Thank you. Kelvin says there was a DVD commentary. Okay, so we missed that one. Okay. Mankey, Mr. Mankey, do we have a magnificent movie moment from Mr. Mankey?
We do. I'm amazed that our producer Rob didn't think I'd have one, which hurts my soul.
Well, the movie doesn't exist, Jason. So
it's
why?
True. It's true. It was harder to write because it's not real. I know everyone out there thinks that being one of the co-hosts of the Witches Movie Coven is nothing but glamour, fame, and riches.
Right.
But it's really not. When I go grocery shopping, people always stop me in the store and gush, "Oh my God, you're Jason from the Witches Movie Coven. Tell Richard-Lael I love him. I hope Courtney doesn't hex you this week." I never seem to get a moment of peace for myself because of such things. And then there are the assignments. Watch this movie. Watch that movie. Try and come up with 3 or 4 funny minutes about a movie you absolutely hated, but you know the rest of your coven absolutely loves. Again, this is really a very hard job, and I'm worth the 6 figures I get paid for every episode. But in some cases, there's just not enough money to make me watch something as wretched as 2006's The Wicker Man. I watch every movie we talk about on this show, even if I've seen that movie before. But when I saw that the Cage version of Wicker Man wasn't streaming online anywhere for free, and I subscribed to all the streaming services, even Paramount Plus, I put my foot down. I'm not paying $4 for this crap. No one who worked on this film deserves a dime from me or the rest of the movie-watching public. And it says a lot that a movie is so bad, it's not even streaming on Paramount Plus or Peacock. You'd at least expect to see it for free on YouTube or Tubi or something. But no, this film is so wretched that no advertiser wants to get anywhere close to it. Imagine if you were Target and your ad appeared right after Nicolas Cage yelled, "Oh no, not the bees, not the bees." You'd probably see your sales numbers crash harder than a certain president's poll numbers. So we're going to do a little commercial now, though. All right. "Oh no, not the bees, not the bees." Looking for America's best honey? We produce it right here on our island in Washington State. Here, the world's most fragrant pollens mix with the salty sea spray of the Pacific Ocean to create the finest honey you've ever tasted. We've been cultivating bees and producing honey on our island now for over 200 years, when we left Salem, Massachusetts. Our island's soil is rich in minerality. Elements such as oxygen, carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, calcium, and phosphorus are periodically reintroduced into the land to produce a honey that tastes like no other. Summer Isle honey. That's wicker good.
No!
My eyes, my eyes! Ah! See, you wouldn't want a commercial between that nonsense, even if it was your honey that was killing Nicolas Cage. And oh yes, my eyes, my eyes. It's what you'll be saying as you watch Nicolas Cage punch and kick his way across the Summer Isle, only to have his daughter wisely choose to sacrifice him in the end. It needed to be that way, truthfully. Hopefully someone at Warner Brothers can punch and kick their way into finding all the copies of this movie and put them in a giant Wicker Man, not only to renew the soil, but to renew my faith in movies and in humanity once again.
We need a t-shirt that says punch and kick your way across the summer aisle.
Beautiful.
Punch and Kick is stolen from Molly Shannon on Saturday Night.
Oh, I got it.
Oh, yeah.
That was also 30 years
I know
ago.
how to punch and kick. Yeah.
I'm 50.
Yeah. It's not as much. It's not as funny as it was when I was 30.
All right, Wicker Man. We know everything there is to know. We've got a complete synopsis of it. We've got a Mankey movie moment. We've had quotes. We've had explanations of everything. So now we vote, everyone.
Jason, you voted thumbs up. I saw that.
One.
Yeah, there was
one down.
No, there was never a moment.
We need a clip of that too.
Okay.
Oh, look, we got some half staff.
We got some half staff.
One is mostly down.
You know, but I will say that this is Beltane, though, and there is not a fully erect wand. I mean, which is pretty sad.
Pretty sad for Beltane. It is pretty sad. But I could not go wands down because a casting. You know how hard that was to cast? I am sure. Every child across America, every woman across America. And you're right, there were some names. So, all right, everybody, wands down. Wands down. Neutral, Robert, neutral. Wands is down from Raymond. Hey, Raymond, I can't read what Ann's is. Okay, is that all the votes we have? Crescent.
One's down for sure.
Okay, I'm not going down. I'm going, it was pretty.
All right, listen, if you need a movie to get your wand at fully
erect.
Up, right, fully erect, may I make a suggestion? It is in theaters currently. It is a movie, as I say a lot, there's movies that are made to be seen on the big screen, and this is one of them. See it in IMAX if you can. It was filmed in IMAX, and it makes a world of difference. But the movie Sinners is, we have to cover it on the show, I think, eventually, but we will need somebody present who practices hoodoo to talk about it, because I don't feel right talking about it without that. But this movie is hands down the best movie I've ever seen in my life. I've seen it 3 times, twice in IMAX. I feel different things every time I watch it. I see different things. The cinematography is insane. They use sometimes when you watch something, they have like, it'll be a big special thing that they have one continuous shot that they do, and that's like the big part of the whole movie. In Sinners, there's multiple, and they're fantastic, and it's immersive. And the way that they do it in the IMAX, the difference between like the wide shots and the zoomed in shots, and the way that they time those is like, it takes your breath away. In addition to that, there's music, but it's
so good.
It's not a musical. The music is insane and an integral part of the story. It is technically a horror movie. There are vampires, but the vampires, to me, it's like the least important part of it. It is, I laugh, I cry, I get goosebumps over my entire body watching it. And also Michael B. Jordan, are you kidding me? Plays 2 people. He's twins in the movie, and they are 2 completely different people, even though they're twins. It is wild. I cannot stress enough that this is not a movie to wait for streaming for. Go see it in the theater. Pay the money that it's worth, because it's worth it, and go see it in IMAX, because if you can, because that makes all the difference. I just want to keep throwing money at this movie because it earned it by far. One of the best movie I've ever seen in my life,
and it deserves that money. This is an original story.
Yep.
It was written and directed by Ryan Coogler, and he is a director and writer of color. And people were like, oh, it only made $50 million the week it came out. It's not a success. No one would say that about anybody else. Ryan Coogler did Black Panther movies. He did the Creed movies. He's a genius. This movie is great. My wife and I saw it on Sunday. Loved every minute of it. We're still talking about it. Courtney's completely right. This is a fantastic film. And it better win some Oscars.
Literally, if it
next year.
doesn't, I will riot. There will be strongly worded letters. There will be hexing. There will be everything else because it deserves it. Like, just on every single level, it deserves it. So go see it in the movie. This is what the cinema is for, is a movie like this.
Wow. I'm definitely going to see it. Good sale job. That is good.
I feel very strongly about it.
Courtney,
Good
did you
job.
see any other movies this past weekend?
Well, imagine that. I did, because was it the 30th anniversary or the 20th anniversary of Revenge of the Sith? So I took Nathan, and we'd covered Star Wars on the show before, and we talked about the nostalgia of it all. Revenge of the Sith is Nathan's favorite Star Wars movie, and I hated it when I saw it because I didn't see it in theaters. I was a diehard original 3 movies fan, and then I went to see the Jar Jar Binks one, whatever, I forget what it's called, and I had a big fat crush. Thank you. I can't even retain that in my brain because it wasn't worth it, but I had a big fat crush on Obi-Wan, and that was the only thing that was good about that movie, so I refused to watch the rest of them until I began to show Nathan Star Wars, and then watching it through his eyes, it was a little bit different, but I still didn't want anything to do with the prequels. And then we went and saw it in the movie theater, and I take back everything that I said because it was awesome. To watch it on the big screen again, the way that it was intended, changed my entire perspective on the movie, and I loved it.
I also went to see Revenge of the Sith this past weekend. It is my absolute favorite Star Wars movie. I love the original trilogy more than, I don't know, not life itself. That's a lot, but maybe more than my favorite baseball team. So I love it a lot. And for whatever reason, Revenge of the Sith is my favorite Star Wars movie. There's this point where it becomes so dark and menacing, and you just get swept up in it, and you can't stop watching it. None of my friends understand my love for this movie, but I absolutely adore this film, and I actually kind of want to go again. Also, Ian McGregor, wow, that's a good-looking man.
Right? And that's why I had an Obi-Wan lunchbox in middle school, because I had a big fat crush on him. Jason, I have something else to share with you.
We've stolen the show, Courtney.
This came in the mail, if anyone would like to know. There is a certain something coming out, and this is my version of it, and I saved it to open it with all of our friends here today. Oh, I just stabbed myself in the eye with it. It's beautiful, Jason. It's so beautiful. And did you say, oh. I did not pay Jason to write this, but it says, to Courtney, my favorite friend and the person who always has the most correct opinions about all movies. Love ya, Jason. And this says, there's a little asterisk here and says, may not be true. And then a double asterisk here that says, is totally true. And no. I definitely did not pay extra for that. But
no, you
I'm
definitely
so excited
did not
to read
pay
it.
extra for it.
Oh, and there's a little Witches Movie Coven swag in here. If anyone else received this was the Etsy order. And I'm like,
love that, man.
Oh, I'm very excited. Oh, and a little letter from Jason. Oh, that's so sweet. What a nice touch. I love that.
I'm classy when people order from me. What can I say?
That is beautiful.
There it is.
Catch it now. You can order. It's out. It's fabulous.
It's not technically out until next Thursday. So if you ordered from Amazon, you won't get it for another week.
Well, haha. Jokes on everyone else. I'm better. I have
you are Courtney Buckley, the star of Scared and Alone, part of the coven that I'm a part of, and I have to the end.
And I have the correct opinion. I'm just going to cover this. I have the correct opinion, the most correct opinions on all movies. So Jason says Jason, and he signed it. So that's a binding. That's a binding legal contract if I've ever seen one.
It's written and signed.
It's inked, it's signed, yes.
Everything's coming up Buckley tonight.
Yes. It's a witchy day. So what movie are we doing next week? Do we know?
Yes, we know. Where is it?
Drum roll.
Oh yeah, we're doing Raymond Buckland's Witchcraft: Rebirth of the Old Religion, or other names, which you can watch actually for free on YouTube, so you don't have to pay for it. It's a witch documentary directed by a witch.
What
By a
documentary?
witch publishing house.
Oh my god.
What? A what documentary?
It's Witchcraft: Rebirth of the Old. Yeah.
Okay, so that is what we are watching, everyone, right? Okay.
I don't know. There's always a chance it'll change by Monday. Who knows?
It will change. I know we're not very good at this, getting people to watch movies anymore. Like last minute, what was if we forget or remember, or they change. And Tabitha, thank you for joining us. You are always a joy to have.
Aw, thank you.
Everybody, thank you for your fabulous opinions, even the wrong ones. I'm going to go meet Nicolas Cage for coffee now, and he's going to cry. He's going to put lots of honey in it.
Oh, not the bees, not the
That's so
bees.
sweet.
Honey is supposed to be the perfect food, I do believe.
Mm.
Okay, I have a question though. If somebody is allergic to bees, nothing to do with me, can they eat honey?
Not always.
Really?
I have a friend who is severely allergic to bees, but also severely allergic to honey. So when she would come for tea, I had to make certain that there was no honey in the pot, there was no honey in any of the cookies. So yeah, no, one can be really severely allergic to honey.
Wow.
And then if you are, instead of a regular EpiPen, you can get yourself a bee epi, because you know they work differently and they're specifically for bees.
Exactly. Written really, really big. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it was pretty. Okay. All right. Witchcraft next week. We still have 3 minutes. Anybody have anything going on that they want to talk about? Jump in. Tabitha.
I do. I will be at Belle Grove in King George, Virginia at the end of the month with Spirit Squad. It's a Spirit Squad weekend with Sam Baltrusis, Kim Sage, and Jessica Potter. It's going to be a good time. We're going to be investigating. Yeah.
That's so exciting.
All right, Jason. Oh, Courtney.
Oh, me? Nothing. I'll be watching Sinners probably again. So 3 more times. That's it.
Do they give you discounts if you see it that many times more than once?
I would not accept one if they did. Here's the thing, though, if anyone out there, they were giving out, I'm so serious about this. They didn't do it at the theater near me, but I think they were doing it somewhere in California where they were giving out film strips when you went to see it at IMAX. So if anyone has one, I need it, or can go get one. I need one so bad. It's like the promotional little item that you get when you go see it at IMAX.
Okay.
I don't know if they're so good.
You would pay for a movie full price over and over again, but you wouldn't pay an extra $5 to get the bloopers on Wicker Man.
The difference is that this movie, Sinners, earns that
It's
money
good.
where the Wicker Man does not.
Okay. Movie costs. All right. Jason.
I will be in Austin, Texas next week at Austin Witch Fest with our good friend Thumper Forge, who will be there as well. So come see us. Also, Matt Oren will be there. It's going to be a great Saturday. So come by if you're in Texas.
Come on by. And Richard
What do
Lael.
I say about Texas? Only 2 things come from Texas: steers, and all my exes live in Texas. You thought I was going queer, didn't you?
No, I
No.
swear I knew all your exes lived.
Right.
Oh, your exes live in town. Okay, I'm going to be, if anybody wants to come to Vegas and play with vampires this weekend, I will be there. We have the Vegas Vampire Ball. We have a salon. We have a pool party at the Lexi Adult Hotel. And I'm doing a seance somewhere within all that mess. I'm coming up. And next week, big one, come to Penhurst Paracon, where all the cool kids, and I'll be like locked in a basement, something like Nicolas Cage would have to do. And again, I'm being paid to go into some place that's really cold and wet and dark and fabulous. So lots of things coming up and Dollcraft. Yes. It is in pre-release now. Thank you, Jason.
I need it.
Yes. Why is my phone making noise?
Because you're late
Nicolas
for coffee with
Cage.
Nick Cage.
I am late. I am. He's waiting for me. I am late for coffee. That is so weird. I do not have an alarm set. It's the bees. It's the bees. So you guys come to our websites, like us, follow us, tell your friends about the Movie Coven. We need you. We love all your input. We want your friends' input too. Thank you guys for voting. Thank you guys for being wrong. Thank you guys for being right. We miss you, Heather. We love you, Heather. And thank you all. I guess we have one more thing to do. Should we be like a buzz?
Yeah, we
You
should.
should just cackle.
Not the
We should all just
bees!
go.
Not the
Not the
bees!
bees!
Not the bees! Not the bees!